You will never be rich. Not until you master this. Not until you understand that wealth is not just money. It is not cars or watches or homes with gold-plated walls. True wealth begins in the mind. It begins in the invisible. And that's why most never find it. Because they are digging in the dirt for gold when the real treasure is buried in their own beliefs. Most people think success is something you chase. But the greats knew the secret. Success is something you become. There's a reason why Napoleon Hill spent 25 years interviewing men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. Not because they had money, but because they created it out of nothing. They didn't inherit wealth. They inherited thought. They inherited vision. They inherited the power to command life through discipline, belief, and action. And if you don't master this inner world, you will be rich in excuses, rich in regret, rich in broken dreams, but bankrupt in purpose, and dead broke in reality. There's a war taking place inside you. Is not a war of talent. Is not about intelligence. Is a war of mindset. Because everything you are, everything you will ever be, is the direct result of what you believe is possible. You become what you believe. That's not a cliché. That's a law. A universal law as real as gravity. And the poor man stays poor, not because he lacks resources, but because he lacks resourcefulness, because he was programmed to think small, to accept just enough, to be comfortable in chains, to build someone else's dream while killing his own. But you are here for more. You didn't come to this world to blend in. You came to build, to create, to transform. And if you want to be rich, not just in income, but in impact, you must master the one thing that separates the average from a legendary: your ability to govern your thoughts. You must protect your mind like a king protects his crown, because the world will try to invade it, with fear, with doubt, with mediocrity dressed up as realism. But understand this: everything you see, every building, every bridge, every business, it was first built in the mind of a dreamer. Before Ford gave the world the automobile, he saw it when others laughed. Before Edison lit up the world, he failed thousands of times in the dark, because he had a vision no one else could see. Vision is wealth, clarity is gold, and belief is the ignition switch that turns ideas into empires. But belief alone is not enough. Belief without discipline is just fantasy. Discipline is the currency of the successful. It is the thing that separates men of intention from men of impact. You can write down your goals, say your affirmations, visualize your dreams every morning. But if your actions don't match your ambitions, you're just decorating your prison. Real discipline means doing what must be done, long after the mood has passed. It means waking up early, even when the bed begs you to stay. It means saying no to distractions, no to comfort, no to the temptations that kill greatness in its infancy. Andrew Carnegie once said, "You cannot push anyone up a ladder unless he is willing to climb a little himself." Success is your responsibility. No one is coming to save you. No one owes you. And the world will not reward you for effort, only for results. But here's the paradox. When you do the work that most won't, you get to live the life that most can't. And that is the price of greatness. You will be misunderstood. You will be mocked. People will question your sanity before they ever applaud your success. But you must keep going, because the same people who laughed at your grind will one day ask you how you did it. And when that day comes, when your vision becomes visible, when the invisible turns tangible, when the dream is no longer just in your head, but in your hands, that's when you'll realize it was never about the money. It was about the man you became on the way, because he is the real wealth. Mastery begins in the silence, not in applause, not in recognition, not in the spotlight or on the stage, but in the quiet hours, when no one is watching, when your mind is screaming to quit, and your soul whispers, "Keep going." That is where riches are born. See, you were taught to chase success. You were conditioned to pursue outcomes. But the great ones, the ones who leave legacies, they don't chase anything. They become it. Because when you become wealth in mind, when you walk in the identity of someone who creates value, the world has no choice but to respond. You are not paid for your time. You are paid for the value you bring in that time. And value is born from vision, skill, discipline, and belief. Without those things, time is wasted, a currency burned in the fire of distractions and excuses. Let me tell you something no one says out loud. Most people don't want to be rich. They say they do, but they want comfort more than they want power. They want escape more than they want mastery. They want ease more than evolution. But wealth is never given to those who want. It's earned by those who become worthy of it. You must raise your internal standards to match the external life you claim to desire. You can't expect millions while operating on a minimum wage mentality. You can't attract abundance if your identity is still rooted in scarcity. You can't create freedom while being chained to your fears. Until you rewire your identity, until your self-image becomes too strong to be shaken by setbacks, you will sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. Wealth is not about accumulation. It is about alignment. Your thoughts, habits, and actions must be in harmony with the future you say you want. Do you know why lottery winners go broke? Because they receive money they never mentally prepared to own. You can't hold on to what your mindset rejects. You'll spend it, ruin it, run for it. Because deep down, you never believed you deserved it. This is why you must do the inner work. Every single day, you must sit with your fears until they dissolve. You must rewrite the stories you've been told. You must stop calling it just the way I am and start saying, this is who I choose to become. Because that choice, that shift from victim to creator, is the real turning point. Success doesn't begin when you open a business. It doesn't begin when you buy the house, or drive the car, or cross 6 figures. Success begins the moment you decide, I will no longer tolerate anything less than excellence for myself. It begins when you take back control. When you stop outsourcing your power to your past, your parents, your paycheck, your pain. When you stop looking for permission to become legendary. You think greatness is genetic? It's not. It's a decision. Repeated every day. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Thomas Edison's teachers said he was too stupid to learn anything. And Henry Ford went broke 5 times before creating the company that would change the world. None of them were born different. They were forged. Forged in fire, forged in failure, forged in solitude. And so must you be. Do not fear failure. Fear standing still. Fear waking up 5 years from now in the same place. With the same doubts, the same pain, the same invisible prison wrapped in comfort. Burn the ships. There is no going back. There is no plan B for those who are committed. You want to be rich? Then you must become obsessed with growth. You must fall in love with learning. Not school. Not lectures. Real learning. The kind that humiliates you, breaks you, humbles you, and then rebuilds you into something dangerous. Something focused. Something unstoppable. You want to know the difference between the rich and the rest? The rich study the game. They don't scroll. They study. They don't complain. They execute. They don't hope. They decide. They feed their mind like warriors preparing for battle. Because they know this world is not kind to the weak-minded. If you don't program your mind, the world will do it for you. And you'll wake up one day realizing you lived someone else's version of life. That you were capable of greatness, but you settled for survival. Don't you dare settle. Don't you dare believe the lie that says it's too late. It is never too late to become what you could have been. But it starts now, with your next thought, with your next action, with your next refusal to negotiate with fear. You don't need motivation. You need purpose. You need fire in your gut, so hot it burns through doubt. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am not leaving this world the same way I entered it. I will leave it better. I will leave it wealthier, in spirit, in impact, in power. And that is when the real journey begins.